What do people that learn foreign languages have in common? No matter whether you are a beginner or advanced learner, sooner or later, everyone faces the problem of learning new words while reading something, watching a film, or listening to an audio podcast. More often than not, it happens so that we can understand and translate whatever we read and they say to us, but when it comes to using words we know, we can hardly remember and get them out. What's the matter? That's passive vocabulary. The point is how you learn vocabulary. Any language consists of a few parts. Grammar and vocabulary are thought to be key ones. I often give such an example. Grammar is builders and vocabulary is something like bricks. If there are no bricks, builders won't have any work. The same's here. We need these bricks to form a sentence, to rightly understand what people say. Otherwise, our so-called language building will never be built. So, here are some effective methods to properly expand and maintain your vocabulary. Method number 1. Cards. It suits both beginners and advanced learners. Note paper is the merest thing you should have at hand. Cut a piece of paper in half to get more cards. After that, write a word or word combination you want to learn. Don't forget to write an example of correct usage of this word below. If there are a few meanings of a word, write an example for each one. On the back side, write a translation as well as a definition in the language you learn. The next step is to repeat these cards using spaced repetition. It's known that whatever we learn, it slips our mind over time. Hermann Ebbinghaus proved it by presenting the forgetting curve. We are able to recall nearly 60% of information in 20 minutes. In 40 minutes, 50%. The following day we remember only 30%, and so on. This way, taking it into account, we will keep ourselves from forgetting by means of regular repetition. We should look through all the new cards for 5 days each day. Then, if all words went in perfectly, look through them in 2 days again. The words you remember go to another interval, 5 days, and so on. Would be better to use a box for each interval. There will be cards. Whenever you forget a word on the card, no matter which interval the card is in, you must put it into the first box that is looked through daily. You keep on doing it until this card gets to 6 months box. The cards which get to the last point 6 months are retired if you know them perfectly. The second method is to write examples. You should write your own sentences, at least 5, for each word you need to learn. There are 2 variants concerning this method. The first one is to make up a text in your mother tongue using transcription. The other one is to make a monolingual text in the language you learn using a list of the words. In the first case, you're going to remember how words are pronounced and translated, and in the second case, how words are written and the context. Let's look at the examples. Here are English words you should learn. Handicrafts, broken family, countryside, vehicle, tasting. The brothers Handy and Craft were engaged in making handicrafts. They came from a broken family named Broken. The Brokens lived in the village called Countryside. In summer, they liked to travel by their car. The car brand was Vehicle. They always went through a grape garden where they tasted magical wine named Tasting. And the second variant, rural poor, to smuggle, to cross the border, to be deported, immigration. The rural poor were very brave and smuggled day by day. Moreover, they crossed the border at night and were not afraid of being deported, cause everything they dreamt of was immigration. The following step is repetition. The same's here, spaced repetition. In a certain period of time, you should read and try to translate your lines. Method number 3. reading with notes. This method suits beginners and everyone who doesn't like to learn new words. So you should run off a copy of the text you want to learn new vocabulary from. After that, read and write out all the unknown words on the backside of the sheet. In the text, you must highlight these words, constructions, or expressions. When all the words are written out and translated, continue reading the text until you are able to translate it without turning over the sheet to look at the translation. More improved method. It's a good way to improve your listening skills as well. As far as you know, most people's weak point in learning a language is listening part. By means of this method, you'll be able to pick up a certain accent, intonation, as well as pronunciation. So you should find a video which you enjoy. You can also find it on YouTube. Look for subtitles, turn on them, and write them in a document. You can also print it. Then you must translate the text by the same way as in the previous method. On finishing it, read the text and watch the video trying to understand something. You must also keep to spaced repetition here. In order not to forget, you can make notes in your calendar. Method number 4. Have you ever pondered why such unimportant things as advertisements keep in our heads so easily? The thing is that we come across ads wherever we are. This method is closely connected with the idea of ads. The only thing you need is to install an application on your phone or computer. It suits people who spend much time working on computer. You can download such an application as Trade Teacher. It will show you a word in the corner of your desktop every 30 seconds, a minute, as you want. So, hope something will suit you. Of course, the best decision is to combine methods from time to time. I'd like to note here that all the methods will work if you stick with the rule of consistency. You should always be immersed into a language to keep your skills up. It's crucial.